Is the pond related to this project at all? Does it serve the property in some way, this project?
I mean, eventually runoff goes to a pond. Not even for fire protection.
Does the engineer have any comments about how runoff is gonna be done? Related to this project at all? Serve the property in some way?
I mean, it does look like basically at the house. The western. My main concern. The engineer wants to. Yeah, I agree. Imperviousness is. Yeah, I agree. Total disturbance is less than 5 acres. Post construction. Correct. I mean, that being said, bring up speed. Disturbing, yeah, disturbing one here, but then I think as long as you provide that documentation, I think that works out. I brought that up because there are wetlands to the east of the pond. All the way back in your easternmost piece, there's some wetlands back there, and I didn't know if that was part of the EPOD that would include the pond. Even if it is, our work area is well outside. We're not proposing to impact investment.
Yeah, this surface, I'm sorry, on the book, no.
You have water line, I would suggest that you just leave it where you're gonna put the driveway. If you're, so wherever you,
How do you say it again?
there will come the water line from here,
Yes.
it's under the drive here. If you don't put the drive there, approximately, I would suggest to put sleeve in. Same over here, you sewer under the driveway for the frost. I know it's gonna be 3 feet for the frost.
Sure.
Okay, the next thing is you have a 20-foot driveway.
Yes, they're 20 foot wide, yep.
I would suggest talking to arborists that the damage you're going to do to those oak trees going through the root system. You're going to cover the root system up on the grip edge of those trees. You may want to make it adjustable to that or take out the tree on the other side to be sure that you.
Yeah. Yeah,
That is something that I'm going to do, because I don't want to.
I just don't want you tied into a 20-foot driveway.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I appreciate that advice.
yeah, maybe we can narrow it up going through the trees. 20 foot is really gonna help us provide fire turnaround. Access to all, so. Yeah. it's an important feature.
The other thing I have is a demo over the barn. It's awful close to the road,
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah, please, come on, man.
In some places, looks like they might be right along right away there.
It is close.
Right on. So I think the town should have a name as additional insured on that parcel. So when you take it down, go through a small case, town doesn't get attacked by somebody running over a board with nails in it that we allow him to do. Your demolition person probably has all that stuff.
I'm not opposed to.
We could address that with the building permits.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for insurance.
What's about all that? Okay. I'm good.
So with the driveway playing off of what Earl was saying, if you did want to narrow that up, which I think is a good comment. You could get your turnarounds by just doing, you know, a little, not that it has to be that shape, but you could go narrower and then obviously get your width.
Yeah.
And then you could even do plantings around that, so it's fewer. And I appreciate that you're trying to keep those trees, that's really gonna make a big difference to the, you know, street side.
Yeah.
One thing though is this is all new, this driveway, and it looks like from your grading plan that there's no new grading there. But there will be, because it's a new drive, I presume you'll have to do some regrading there, because if you look at the existing grading. It doesn't seem like it's graded for its driveway properly. What did you look at that when you were designing it, or what do you?
Well, you can just the boxing out of the driveway.
Typically, you would, you know, you'd have your grade like that. You know, and then be space, you know, any,
Oh, I see.
so you get your 10% slope. And that would occur anywhere there's new pavement, new grading, presumably. But you know, you're the engineer, but I just want to bring that up because if you do have to regrade there, that's gonna add to your area of disturbance. That you have to.
Yeah, we're assuming we're gonna be disturbing, this. We're gonna strip the topsoil, but the intent is we're not gonna be mass grading.
I think if there's any regrading, we should see it because, you know. It's to your benefit because then you can plan it out to make sure it's the proper slope.
I think one thing that would really help on these is just kind of seeing, you know, where does that 3.87 acres, right? Like kind of clearly denote that on the plans.
Yeah,
Like,
that
you can kind of tell based off of like what the intent is here, but I think just clearly denoting that you've got that would be helpful. And then also things that go off, just, you know, provide some screening in those areas. Even if the intent is to match the existing grades as best as possible. I think that would still, sure, I think address those concerns.
Yep, on the division I've got already drafted, I've got a left limit of disturbance with a call out to acreage, eliminating this. I've got this borrow area, grading out here. You can see on the existing conditions of demo plan, I kind of have this bubbled area, the borrow area,
Waiting,
got that graded.
and then they started putting pictures,
Already got to see that. graded.
and now like people keep entering and exiting.
One other thing with the
But they
grading
like
around.
go with the screen and put like super graphic.
You can take another look at it because
And I need the
seems like
beginning
some
of
of the
that last
grades
thing,
were
but I
not.
ended the
met,
meeting
there
and
were
I
some
came
issues
back.
with what was shown here. In this case, you've got an existing grade that's crossing. the proposed grade. Never terminates.
So the
in this
last meeting
case,
I ended it
but
because I
for
didn't know what was
instance, so these
going on.
two,
I ended.
This
and I
is
started
existing. Under here is existing.
Like there was like.
But you've got 75 to possibly over it. So I think probably what has to happen is if 75 has to die into the retaining wall.
Yeah.
I need the
Something's going on
beginning
there, it's
clip
not
of
right,
that last.
maybe.
Yep.
And then,
Before it started going
um,
wild. I'm prepared.
this is not a realistic way really
We're
to
good.
show the grading on here. It wouldn't be a sharp termination. You'd have some kind of a, you know, more tapered
You should
grade
think of
line
that,
to
but I-
show
I think
how
it's
these are
already
merging into
the
the
same,
existing.
and the same thing happened.
And then this one,
There's a security.
you know,
that are
I
like,
think this might need a little bit of
but we're
rework.
getting past
We can sort out the recording. Yep, we can find the chat to see
Yep,
what's online.
And then I think where you're showing 2% slope in some areas, you would really steeper than that. So this
If you have the.
is more like a 3% slope, 3% slope, which, okay, you're draining more, but if you think it's a 2% slope, you can take a look at that because
Okay, thank you.
it's not steeper, and the same goes for this area. Same idea here, generally with your grades, just show them a little bit more realistically when you're tying them into the existing, so it's more logical. I would say, and then. Is the intent here that this top of retaining wall is flush with grade, because that's kind of how it's gonna end up, the way it's drawn.
Bottom of retaining wall is gonna be flush. with grade. with existing.
So if you see the top, the CW mean top of the wall?
Yeah.
So the top of wall 670, and you've got a 670 grade tying into that, so it's not gonna be much of a wall, it's gonna be more flush with.
The wall is on down slopes. It's holding the sidewalk up.
Right, but
from
this,
existing grade.
the top of that wall is gonna be pretty much flush with grade there, that is that. See, grade here is 670.
That's proposed grade.
Right, your proposed, the new grade is gonna be about flush with that wall, is that the intent in this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, in general, I think my comments were mostly focused around the grading and just generally taking a look at that and kind of massaging it a little bit more and, from July.
Okay, thank you.
On the wall, can you show a profile of the wall or whatever footings under it?
Yeah, we can. We just gotta figure out what wall we're gonna build. And we'll have to get, as part of the construction process, we'll get shop drawings and.
I just wanted on records saying. He decides he's going to move on, the new owner has something that they can look at to purchase.
If some of these slopes are greater than 3%, there should be notes for,
Greater.
Where are you there?
so this area is not, it looks to me like it might be greater than 3%.
It is some 3 foot off.
Okay, 3 foot off.
All right. Did we say 10%? 3 on 1.
3 on 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 on 1, yeah, that's what I'm.
I think kind of piggybacking on grading and drainage, I know with the connection points to County Road 45. It looked like there might be a roadside swale along there. I don't know if you guys are with the culverts underneath those.
Where?
I think there was one on the, but I think there was one on the Horn Farm side, but it looked like there may have been one on the existing. That existing one that you might be reusing or relocating. Just want to make sure that like drainage is being conveyed.
How close is that, the drive that goes to the horse barn, how close is that to the existing western driveway? Sort of in that area? Because there is a swale there, right?
Probably 200 feet away. But this is gonna be eliminated.
Yeah.
So it's.
It's gonna be eliminated, I'm just talking that the presence of a swale, there is a swale there.
Not really.
Well, there's a swale at the existing driveway. There's a culvert pipe in there.
I mean, our survey didn't pick it up, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not there.
Oh, it's there.
You gotta solve it under your driveway over here.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out how to best answer your question. What is your question?
I didn't raise the question. Was there some discussion about whether or not there was to be
Yeah, just.
Oh,
just-
culvert.
Yeah,
a culvert pipe at the,
Yeah, so that driveway is gonna be eliminated, but there's currently a culvert because it's a driveway.
at the new driveway?
At the new driveway, we're not proposing the culvert. Drainage would flow over.
It's at a kind of a high point on the
yeah,
road.
it's
Usually
it
it's,
seems.
So where this driveway is the high point of the road, so there's.
And again, I think whatever you coordinate. with
Plus,
the
yeah.
county DOT, like they're gonna tell you.
GOT,
So the old driveway where the culvert's from the removed, we need a permit. Highway department, get that out of there and just regrade it. Well, then it's not what for a swale.
So where the pool house was, there appears to be a pavilion or something built there. Is that permanent?
no,
Well, that's temporary,
yeah, it's being demoed. Everything that you can see is gone.
but it looks like the pool house is gone, but there looks like there's a new pavilion that
It's
wasn't
not.
there.
It's not new, and I just haven't demoed it yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have is this a walkout? Please, that's not a walk, is it a walkout on this side where the driveway is?
The walkout is just on the garage side.
On the garage, that's it. And that's where that's your egress then for the basement.
So the only other thing I've got is, the possibility of, remediation being required at the main house. I do believe that there's asbestos wrapped pipes in the basement. Not 100% sure. I was told that, so that needs to be something that, you know, there needs to be remediation that needs to be addressed.
I would imagine that gets addressed with the building permit process,
With the demo permit,
the demo
I
permit.
think there's not.
Of course, we meet all obligations. Demo permit.
That's all I've got. Anybody have anything else?
I just had, I thought I had read some, I thought I had read that maybe in one of Corey's comments that the, that goes community commission.
Pool house septic.
The pool, okay, but the other one, you're just gonna piggyback on that and.
That one was sized for the same amount of, we're rebuilding the same number of residents.
That's what my question was, okay? Good.
Anybody have anything else?
The only other thing I had was, I know the county said something about, the square footage of structures, so 1,500 square foot in the district. Didn't know if you got variance or something, or the thing, like for a larger size building. I guess I just wanted to bring that up for discussion, because it seems like there may have been an existing on the lot that's whole. So I don't know if, I don't know if you want to file a variance for that, since it's beginning.
What do you? Can you be a little more clear about what you feel the issue is?
So the code or the RA5 district basically limits the max lot coverage of structures to 1,500 square foot. And I think the proposed two-story building here is approximately like 3,000 square foot.
That may be minimum.
Is that minimum?
Maybe. Do you have the code reference? I can pull it up. But
It's minimum,
It's
minimum,
Okay.
yep,
you're certain. I don't know offhand, but
it is,
okay.
yep.
A 5 acre lot is 2% of the area of the property
For accessory
for
structure.
accessories from them.
So is the engineer, so we are gonna have the grading plans updated for what you've been talking about. Which obviously may impact drainage, but is the engineer otherwise okay with the drainage, the pond, E-pods? Are we sufficiently far away from there not to worry about that, or is further
Yeah,
analysis needed?
I think so. I think the only thing that I really noted was we have a more stable barn that it showed that there were wetlands there, but since that's now going away, I don't see this. I don't see this being an issue.
And then do a schedule of events, quick sequence of.
Yep, yeah, I've got that, I'm gonna tour erosion. The town standard ones.
Yeah. Written council on the demolition, it's what you were going to do first, it's an order of things like that happen.
Yeah, I've got that we have an erosion sediment control plan on sheet 3. And, added a note, construction sequence on it, as it relates to erosion sediment.
You do for work also. You do the workload also, the demolition, what's coming first, what is coming out,
On the sequence of.
sequence of that.
Right, install stabilized infrastructure.
Towns would be aware when the vine's coming down. The highway department, so. Little things.
Are those standard notes or?
No.
Is it unique?
It's unique, the vine's up also
I
about.
noticed Corey had a note, about construction sequence. Missing.
Wasn't I already issued a demo permit? Yeah, I was already issued a demo permit.
For everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all the bonds and everything.
We'll follow with them. Terms and conditions.
But I will honor whatever, I'm very easy to work with. I don't want to cause any problems. So if there's something that needs to be done, it's not, no sweat out my back. Consider it.
All right,
Sorry,
No, please
just
go
have
ahead.
one more- it might be
No,
on
no.
Corey's list, but if you could just add, since you're gonna go through this again, add the ratings to the any curves that we have. That'd be helpful. And the direction of the slope, you know, any slopes that you're adding, this little thing goes. And, any doors that on the plan, you could. Add the triangle symbol, just so we know what our openings are.
yep, yeah, I think Tori is just finishing up his building plans, so I'll give him my students or plans.
And I know this is a pain to do, but it looks like you gave us one dimension for the,
Yeah, you want to add them in.
I know it's a pain, but if you could add them, that would,
Well, there'll be building plans too.
right, but we don't see those.
You want to see them?
I mean, it's good for record and also it gives us some gauge of the scale. If you can, if it's, I know
Let's do
in
it.
some ways, when there's a lot of jobs, it's hard.
Also, if you put a benchmark somewhere.
Yeah, that's on my, that's noted in course.
With that in mind,
Yeah.
line 7, we're missing southern portion of the parcel, the benchmark. We talked about the disturbance, for groundwater and stormwater, for the stormwater. The top of lines, I think you have an issue with that, but these. We can do numbers, just. It's like 5, 6 acres in advance.
I think it was that we would like to see, the area being.
Just- just since
That way
it's
you can
minimal.
see pattern drainage.
We spoke about the driveway, fire hydrant, you're using well water,
It doesn't. This is the.
do
Have a
you
floor.
you have anything to say about number 15, or like what
They're going to have.
the issue is?
Yeah, we've always done.
Yeah, I've got to talk, Corey is the fire marshal too, but it's.
Yes, yeah.
So I've got to talk to Corey about, as the fire marshal, what he does to see for fire safety. It is a rural lot, there's no public hydrant, on road in this area. 1,500 feet away, so, you'll work with the architect and incorporating a sprinkler system, whereas, eventually doing a dry hydrant.
Drainage arrows, they wanted to see those as well, or them. Number 17, and then, there were some missing seals, owner and account and tax account numbers were also missing on the. Set and that's. Town notes from the construction sequence, which I think that Rolo just spoke to you about, and we're keeping it animals, but we're striking that when you guys get some courses, maybe not this year, but perhaps next year. Yeah, fair. Yeah. Do you gentlemen have any issues with what Corey was asking for here? About it all? Did anybody have anything else you would call us? Yes, sir.
Are we resolved with the pond stuff? Cause this is probably the only time I'll be here and I just would like to address it, cause I know. It's a little bit of
If
a,
we confirm that there's no wetland depot there, you're good.
yeah, no one's going back there to look at that. It's not on the parcel and building, it's not touched. And if you'd like to know, I would tell you exactly what happened.
If it's not part of this application, and
No.
I don't know
Well,
how
it was
we
just- I was
can
just
expect the
wondering
planning
that
board member
A
to
lot of
tell you
work
what.
went on back there and I didn't
Yeah, I
know.
put about $1 million into it to make it really nice. It's beautiful.
It's a nice setting back there.
Yeah, and there's the wildlife loves it, fish love it, and I did it exactly how the DEC wanted me to do it. But I just want to resolve it. 'Cause
Yeah, I don't think it's,
Anything else?
I don't think it's for
Uh-huh.
Charlie to resolve.
Let's move on then. So I believe we had, a proposed like a. Pardon me, a resolution, ready to go. And whenever you get a chance to look at it, I think that he's been, updating it as we've been going.
Yeah,
Um,
so I've kind of been listening and updating it. In case the board wants to do a conditional approval tonight, of course, you can also wait until you get revised maps.
So I would be fine doing a conditional approval. I think that the engineer, working with the building inspector, with the code enforcement officer, with fire marshal, with Corey,
Yeah.
and Mr. Gene Curcio. I think that I'm in a good spot right now. I don't know how the rest of the board feels or our engineer feels.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. Would just love to see a revised set of plans, but.
I think we really,
Let's see.
sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's not gonna get.
I think we really need this. I would like to really see the grading updated so that it's drawn a little bit more accurately. Before I would go to approve. That's just my opinion.
Did you have something to say?
Look, with me the way it is, and but based on the building, if I see it later. It's gonna work, he's gonna do it.
Also, I think it's important that we have a set that doesn't show the stable.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and with new grading plan, provide that, I don't want him to come with it, but then.
Really, how do you feel about a conditional approval?
Conditional,
You don't want to see another drawing before we vote to approve it.
The-
You don't want to see the.
With the topo, with the
With the stable, removed
removed and the
With the-
grading,
things that we discussed
Updated.
here, updated. Just so I'm clear, I'm not okay with a conditional update. I'd like to see the drawings revised before I would vote.
Does the board want to entertain a motion for conditional
I
approval?
want to hear what Danielle has to say first, please.
So I feel like we had this issue with Doug and we kind of gave him. He had to come back with revised stuff, right? Or with Doug, someone in the past, we just said,
Sure, first.
yeah, and I just hate to set a precedent moving forward.
I think that, from my perspective, the process, I would prefer to let, Mr. Osofsky have the conditional, get started on stuff, and then he could bring in other things as required later on. But I understand your point. So. Okay. So I don't think we're gonna get our vote tonight. Sorry about that. So, should we, I mean, do we have any public comment, I guess, at this time? For this?
what's your timeline for another plan?
Do you have any comments that you would?
We did have a comment letter, didn't, you didn't get that, okay.
It should have been distributed.
Okay, because I know we gave it to.
I don't think there's anything in the comment letter that hasn't been really
Hasn't been
discussed though,
here, no.
so really. I've got everybody set. Wow. I was just waiting to get your feedback and don't come our views.
You have a revised site plan right now?
Yeah.
That addresses.
Yeah, like I think this one is a little bit more updated. Like I said, that I saw about a week or two ago, so it's, I think as long as I get to see that revised set. Yeah. And most of these items are the best, I think we should. do it.
Was there anything with the grading that, if not resolved, is gonna substantially
Yes,
affect
well,
what we're proposing here?
none of the regrading at the driveways is shown. That's.
Or how is that gonna be true?
I don't know how close you are to your, areas of disturbance, but that will add, you know, a fair amount to the area of disturbance and
But I told you that includes area. Sure.
this area.
Yeah.
That's in the 3.8,
That is-
right? I think the plan showing like the clear limits of disturbance is good, is gonna help show what they actually.
Yes,
plan.
if you, when you add that to the drawing, then we'll know what it includes. It's vague. I think we need to be as clear as possible when we're moving the site plan.
But these are permanent road construction.
It's our approval drawings. That's what we see. We don't see the permit drawings. So if we are gonna be approving, you know, the site plan. You know, we have to get it as accurate as possible because it's our record. And typically, I will say, we do typically require this of applicants. I've been here for almost 5 years and we rarely will just approve if there are this many items that are outstanding.
Yeah.
So this is not typical. Board,
Additional approval by typical here.
if they're minor items, but these to me are not minor, grading is not minor. And some of the grading doesn't even work properly. You know, and so I think it's good to have the revised drawing accurate, you know, showing that you're not building a stable, all those things that you want, you know, to show and communicate. I think it would be good for us to have a final.
Sure. Nah, I'm not gonna, it is what it is. That's the way things go sometimes. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
The next meeting is August 19th. If you guys can have the revisions by August 19th, it's 2 weeks out.
Yes. Meeting tomorrow.
Mhm.
Great question for you.
That's good news.
Ian, I just sent you MRB comments too, if you want to review them as well.
For us tonight, so. I'd like to toss them and.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds great. All right, thank you. So.
Thanks,
you,
Ed.
gentlemen. Thank you.
Appreciate the feedback.
All right, moving on, we have Parks Family and their site application. Please come on. What's your name?
My name's Brian.
Nice to meet you. Welcome. Please, walk us through what's going on here.
I'm here tonight with the applicant and 300 Town Parks. We're proposing approximately a 3,100 square foot single family residence on the property. The property is currently 97 acres. So we're doing the entire property, there's no subdivision involved. There's something to build one single family dwelling on the property. Part of that project does include demolition of the existing residence located at the corner of West Bloomfield and West London Road. That's shown on of the.
Before you continue, Mr. Oldham, would that be something that we would want when they're demoing it, to have the town as a named insured on because it's so close to the road? I would say. Yeah, it's like.
The barn,
That's the barn.
that's the barn, they're not thinking, that's the Shamrock Farms barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the home nearest the barn. And that is the way. That's located in the Yukon, so, you know, I understand tonight, we're not gonna be voting on this tonight, so, that's Sharon. Select Preservation Commission, will be visiting property. Of the impacts that may follow. But the rest of the project is, compliance with the municipal dimensional lot setbacks. And then it's on properties.
Leave it, they do.
Let's see here on our site plan. And number 3. We are proposing a second entrance to the property at West Bloomfield Road. Those of you that drive by this area frequently, I would not want to pull out on the Washington Road, lay down the hill over there, it's dangerous,
Yeah.
so, that's why we rerouted, we do want to keep that entrance, for short purposes, and for potential access. Primary access point would be us, West Bloomfield Road.
Well, it makes sense because of its proximity to the barn.
Yeah, and if you kind of, the driveway, slopes up as you approach the shoulder of the road. Having visited the property a few times now myself, I prefer to not go down that entrance.
I don't blame you.
West Bloomfield Road is a county road, so we're gonna be working with the county DOT for an access permit through there. We're working with the water authority on water sizing. What you see in front of you, that approach was slightly changed. So we're getting feedback from the water authority. We're working with the health department, properties and dwellings serviced by a septic system. Our disturbance is over an acre, so no, we don't need full SWIP. We're gonna show similar to the last application. Disturbance areas for that, we had 2.2 acres for this project. The driveway, the house, has anyone visited the property?
I live across the street.
Oh, okay. So the house is gonna sit up on the hill, and it's the high point of the road.
Where you been clearing trees?
There's some tree clearing down near the toe of the slope, and then up top there's some brush and maybe a couple trees in the area. So the intent, I did share some preliminary level architectural tonight. It will be a single residence, 3 bedroom. Very nice looking, yeah, it should fit right in with the hillside.
Pardon me? Across the street and down a little bit.
Not voting tonight, so. But in any regard, so the lower floor is gonna be built into the hillside. If you think of a walkout, somewhat reversed, there's gonna be garage doors on the lower side of the hill. And the upper space will be living space, so 3 bedroom, dwelling. And we're here tonight to collect feedback from the board, questions, comments, concerns, we are working out, I did see Corey's comment letter. We have no issue addressing any of those. I haven't seen a MRB comment letter, but, there are moving parts in particular with the water system, we're working those out actively, so.
The address would be West Bloomfield Road.
Right now, the address is 3694 Washington Road, so it does have a signed address, I think that would be up to Corey if he wants to, reallocate an address, but that would be a practical,
So leave it as Rush Mountain Road.
to rename it to West Bloomfield Road.
Oh, okay.
It will be the primary residence, I'll leave that up to Corey.
That's a safer place to come in and out anyway.
It sure is, I would agree. Yeah. So we have no issue with Corey's comment letter. We did send a letter off and we had a response back from Triple. So they had a letter here stating that there was no interest or impact of the property.
Can you share that with the, I don't know if you haven't already, can you share that with the town?
Absolutely.
Like a PDF of it or something?
Sure.
Thanks.
Yeah. The Conservation Board visited the property last week or the week prior. They issued a letter stating that they don't see that any environmental impact permits were required. They're incredibly short of the investigation from the Historic Preservation Board.
Just to clarify, my house is not the one directly across the street. I'm about a quarter of a mile west. Across the street.
On West London? Okay. So you're up over the hill on the other side. Yeah, the intent of the configuration for this parcel, the driveway is approximately 700 feet. It's positioned so you can see just over the field into the next field looking west. So I'm happy to take any feedback or questions more than that.
I'll go first. The driveway of, the proposed driveway on West Bloomfield Road. It appears that, you know, a portion of that is gonna be located in that, FEMA flood hazard. Are you guys doing anything to make sure that the button fills balance and you're not affecting the floodway at all?
Does the town have a compensatory storage environment in the town?
I don't think they have compensatory storage, but do you think part of this building is for the cloud is that, you know, you can't do any kind of cut the fill in the floodway?
This would be the flood plain area, that's that storage area.
There's E5.
Yeah, we have 3. So we would, you know, if a floodplain development permit will be required. Code officer. Yeah, we can do these, we can orient spaces and get them used as well. You can certainly obtain that. We had looked at pushing it a little bit closer to the road, but we felt that configuration will flatten out the bend going to the trees. I recognize it, I'm making sure I just think it's in the property, but there is a pathway included to how to feed the trees up into the hillside there.
Ready?
Sure.
The septic tank, we probably should move it closer to the driveway for serviceability. Let's see there,
That's a good
driveway
point.
there.
Okay, we can do that. There's gonna be a patio area there, but we can certainly move it up closer to the turnaround.
And he's got to reach it for service.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. That's a good point.
Your water main is about 55 feet below the second floor elevation. Whether you have enough pressure there.
Right,
That's,
That was one of my concerns. especially with the RVZ hot box, like we would be able to get enough pressure at times.
So we are working through that today, actually, it's talking to being earlier. This configuration as it's shown here has changed. We're proposing, 2 taps into the water main, one exclusively for the hydrant and then one domestic service. So the hydrant will have one of BZ. And, when we look into the pressure cups now, but we're probably. Generally, this would be the location we're looking at, assuming we meet the pressure buttons.
But have you guys reached out to, water authority to see like what what
We have flow data, we have our updated plan set to them, as of the last few days, we just waiting for comments, but same with them.
The size of the tap. The water authority had this ring, when you require a 2-inch tap, you make a 1-inch tap to the 2-inch line. So you're aware of what you ask for, because you're not gonna get it unless you could pay for it ahead of time, you won't get it unless somebody's there supervising it at the time.
We do have, appreciate the feedback, we have a very vigilant, builder for this project, so we'll see builders, of the next project for towns. We're very vigilant of all of those construction activities. for the project.
The septic system, I didn't see a 50% expansion area, but I saw there was some rationale like behind spacing maybe, and I just wanted to make sure you guys coordinate with part of the health, the design of the system. So
Certainly, we will get a review of it back from them, when we're still waiting on that, but I think that that'll time out well with, anticipate on August 19th moving. Which some other substantial changes required.
one of the things that I did notice, there's a 30-foot wide easement for, it looks like a water service, kind of like on the backside of the proposed barn.
Yes.
Just make sure that there's no special requirements, for, disturbance within that easement. It looks like some of the silk fence or like limits of disturbance kind of go in there. Looks like you might be able to minimize that. Yeah, just to get outside of, just to.
That's even safe.
This is unique. I haven't seen a water service run that far before, but.
Right, it comes, it feeds those 2 houses to his,
All the way north.
to the north.
Yeah.
In fact, they
Way
did that
uphill.
they did that a few years ago, so it comes right from 251 and feeds those 2 houses.
I think all of the houses in, I think there's several, there's more than 2, I think.
No, there's 2, there might be 3.
So those, that's a service from Bushman and Road all the way.
All the way back.
Right. There's physical markers where those lines are, so we're aware.
And it's not that long ago that they put that in and it failed and they had to fix it, I think in the last fall.
Yeah, those don't service our property. Our property accommodates that easement, so those are to benefit the other residences north of this.
I just wondered if you were aware that
We're over on.
Our service is gonna come out off of Bushman Road as well. And then also we're working with the water authority, so there's the barn on the property, that's gonna have a water connection as well. We're gonna show, and we have worked with the water authority, that's we're gonna have a separate service running from the existing one to the house. We're gonna reroute that to a barn, so.
The elevation of those houses that serves, is that close to the elevation of this house? Or is that over the hill and down?
I believe, well, it's over the hill, down and then way back up again. Those other houses are higher than this site here.
So if they have,
And that's
But
thousands of
water.
feet. Yeah, that's I would imagine a pretty wide surface. Diameter,
how far is that? To another house?
thousands of feet. I don't have an exact.
Yeah, it's a long way.
100 acres north.
I've done 3,000 feet with 2-inch work.
Okay, I would say it's probably close to about 2,000 to 3,000, probably closer to 3,000 feet. That's a long way then.
It is. It is.
But we are staying clear of that easement. There's physical markers and properties, so we know where that was located and we'll facility. I'll pull back the silk fence further to the graphically show that.
Yeah. And then if you can provide like, whatever counts, like documenting the flow and like the pressure at the barn, the pressure at the hydrant, those kinds of things, just so it, it meets the fire marshal's demands for the hydrant. Whatnot, even though it is a private hydrant, just to make sure that, they have the firefighting capabilities there on the site. The other thing too, it's the same thing as the last application, just make sure, you know, this configuration from the driveway. The fire marshal.
Sure, yeah, that's on our list as well, so I didn't see a comment in Corey's letter, but we will follow up with them.
Yeah. Is there anything proposed along the side slopes of the driveway, just because it is a steeper driveway and I mean, water's gonna channelize down the sides? I don't know if you guys have any plans for erosion protection or something to slow
Just
down.
well, real quick, back to Corey's, he did ask for the driveway's in excess of 500 feet, shall have emergency pull-offs consistent with town design criteria.
Yeah, so we'll show up right now. Likely, I believe that interval is, every 500 feet, I believe, so we'll show one of the hydrant there. This driveway total length is about 7.
Okay.
So it's going, we'll show those on.
Is it gonna be asphalt or is it gonna be photo?
We haven't finalized that yet.
Okay.
Aviation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing a pull off.
we'll add that on.
Okay.
So I'll call Corey and talk to him about that.
We may want an emergency area for falling down, coming down that hill on icy conditions. So that you have a location designated, so if they have a problem on that.
Yeah, the overall slope is just under 8%. I think it's 6.7, approximately 7%. So it's steep, but it's not dangerous.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it's just primarily for the section as we absorb the grade coming up the steeper portion of the hill.
Because you're coming in on West Springfield Road, just have a sign here for the house number, the address over here, so fire emergency vehicles won't be confused as to what the entrance is.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah. I think it depends in part too if the address is reassigned with it as well.
Yeah.
As far as that steep slope on either side of the driveway, thinking something along those lines too. I don't know if it would help you at all to just modify it to have a little soil on each side, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put some check dams, temporary check dams on the steeper portion of the slope, we'll add those in temporarily until the site's stabilized. Let everything from eventually transition and the sheet flow down across that large area there and seeing the adverse impacts. After that's stabilized.
And there's some steep slopes, you know, around the house itself that you could just label, you know, similar comments to the previous ones that we have for the previous application.
Sure.
Also, if you could get the dimensions on this, you know, if you can't, a square footage is fine too.
Yeah.
Those free. But then it's hard when there's little, you know, lots of jobs.
I think that's in part if we have our architecturals finalized.
Oh, that'd be cool.
If they are, I'm not sure if they're going to
And,
be,
yeah,
but
right.
I can give some plus or minus dimensions for context of those.
Yeah. And I appreciate those elevations, that helps us visualize it,
Yep.
and, you know, you mentioned something at the beginning here where you said this is actually carved out of, you know. There's some,
It's like it's set into the hill, so the lower area has garage space for vehicle parking, and then the upper areas are the traditional living space, so it's set into.
so the land is kind of carved out, that's what you meant by that?
Correct, yeah,
Yeah.
so there's gonna be, it's inserted, instead of excavating a flat pad, we're putting it into the hill, the better.
Yeah.
All the time.
So if you see that right away with the elevations, you know, for someone who's not familiar with looking at those, so that's helpful for everyone.
Great,
And I appreciate that you guys are keeping the existing barn, it's really shows some sensitivity to the site. And I actually like that you guys pulled it back this, you know, as far as you did, because that helps the historic, you know. Stuff that's going on over here, the further away from that, I think that's a good thing, even though looks like it's gonna be a nice building.
beautiful view from up.
Yeah.
Are these 17 steps up to the main entry?
Those are shown graphically right now, but there will be a landscape, terrace landscape wall or hardscape stone that absorbs that grade along the side here. It's not going to be a vertical face retaining wall.
I'm just wondering if you have to go up 17 steps to go to the back on the front door.
There is there's a loading, unloading area for the vehicle as well with the turnaround. But
You'll discourage trick or treaters.
No one's supposed to, yeah.
Can't even get a full-size candy bar for going that far up. But yeah, that hasn't been finalized, how that's gonna look at this time. We are, primarily absorbing the grade between the living space floor and the lower floor, so some type of hardscape. Again, it's not gonna be a structural retaining wall, but like maybe natural stones stacked up. Or similar.
Like, I know you mentioned that this, septic is all under review right now, you're just waiting to hear back.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have done all the field testing with the health department already.
Just double check our code, because I think that the 50% expansion area is a requirement for the town of Mendon, so even if they. I'm not sure, just double check.
All right, we'll check that. Is that?
I think
Yeah,
it might be a
100%.
requirement to show that on ours.
Okay.
I do see that you guys have a transformer pad. On the site, kind of like inside the southern side of it.
Correct, yeah, southwest.
Are you guys gonna propose like any kind of screening? Cause it looks like that, they're gonna see that basically, right?
There is, again, this doesn't show every tree on here, just what I would call like a specimen tree.
Yeah.
But there is, old apple trees located south of the transformer that actually, this has been positioned to be screened.
Okay.
As well as accessible within the correct distance to the dwelling.
Then obviously, with the transformer, whatever, until I'm provided and stuff. What things that make sure it's like.
Absolutely, and typically, we can show that on the plan, and that would be coordinated directly with the building.
I was just kind of wondering. That would sort of, I imagine it's on. Rushman.
Yeah.
As we do a standby generator.
I don't know, initially, we may long term though. Are you gonna have a generator, Tom?
Yeah, it's gonna be on that same pad. Transfer switch or even.
So you're preserving those avenues, thank you for that. That's great. It
Um,
looks like you're
Oh, you see
preserving them.
those on that, yes, that is, they're south of the transformer, yes. Requested by the applicant.
That's awesome. Just one more quick thing, anybody you're making out. Or if you could just label the radius on the drive, that would be helpful.
Yep, we can certainly do that, and we're gonna change the curve coming into the, through those trees, the base of the hill, we're gonna flatten that out a little bit. But all in all, our intent would be to finish the comments here, and we could, the historic conservation board, there's an opportunity to do this before the 19th. We'd like to have updated plans back in your hands before then. And at the time.
If HPC does do it before then, we'd like to have you. If you're ready.
They're reviewing on August 12th.
Okay.
Yep,
All
it was
right.
confirmed, so, yep.
That would be our target then. I'll try and get plans back, at least a few days in advance. The time to review. Go through.
Anybody have any other questions?
Okay. All right, thanks for your time. Thank you.
Well, now, do we have any public comments on this, or anybody else that's here? Okay, thanks. All right, we have another piece of substantive business, and this relates to the Copperfield community.
Yeah, if I could, thank you. I actually am missing one for the file.
This was just to get
Thank you very much.
planning board notes on file, on the record, and possibly anybody in the audience who wants to talk about the Copperfield community. We had some concerns from one of our town board members who emailed them to the planning board earlier, and I shared some of them. So I thought I would share them with you. Just the Copperfield community is the 417 unit development that's going into the village of Manaway Falls. It'll be bounded, I think, by Quaker Meeting House Road to the east. Yes. Please, if they want to come out, yeah. Oh, yeah, please. We're not voting on anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, please, come on. So, Mr. Supervisor, you're welcome also if you want to join.
So I saw some of the emails. It's on the agenda for us to talk about on Monday. But typically, we would not, so I would not make a statement on behalf of the town board without everybody approving it and voting on it to move forward. Kim Roberts, Councilwoman Roberts is of course welcome to make a statement either on behalf of herself or her facility. But typically, whenever we have discussed this in the past, we wouldn't make a statement on behalf of the board without full board approval.
Sure. Our intent tonight was not to do anything official, it was just to talk a little bit about it, get the expertise from our very expert members, not me. And generate some discussion. That was the intent. So, one of the things that I noticed, was it looks like there's gonna be a significant amount of people coming in and out of that area, right on the Quaker Meeting House Road, which is a Mendon Road. And so I think it's gonna be, they say it's only gonna be about 300 morning, 300 day, excursions. Are we gonna have to, repave that more often now? Do we need a traffic light there? What does the wastewater situation look like? I noticed that the highest density housing will be closest to Quaker Meeting House Road as well, which, given that there are like 3 other egress points, I think they'll drift towards the Quaker Meeting House exit. There was some clay and soil runoff risk, emergency services, additional concerns. Those were my major ones. I know that Earl had some as well, and I'm certain that my colleagues also have some.
I'm wondering about things like the school system. So 400 units, you could conceivably have between 400 and 800 reasonably more children. And is the school system able to absorb that, and what other sorts of things get affected? For example, school taxes and enlargement. And
We're down, I think, about 10 to 12% in the last 15 years. So for space wise, I think we have the space, but for HR versus personnel. and
but that could recover organically in the meantime. That could recover to the point where we're not down. And because this project, I mean, they're not gonna be they're not gonna be moving in there and going to school next year.
If that's fair, yeah, it's gonna take a while.
So by the time this occurs, with the spot building that's going on around Mendon, the system could be up to capacity.
I do not see that in my trend lines from the research that I've done. We are significantly trending flat for that, and given how much it costs to live here, where families so much difficult for families to come these days, because New York, especially Rochester area, has caught up with the rest of the United States and property values. So it's becoming more expensive, but I definitely see your point there. I just think it's gonna take a long time for this thing to get built. I don't think that spot development is going to replenish the kids.
Disagree. I think that the phasing is super fast. I just did a quick graphic here. The first phase, which is to be done by 2033, is 128 dwellings. That doesn't count people, that counts dwellings. And so naturally times 4, if you've got 4 people in a household. And for this yellow area is almost half of the development that they're proposing here in the first phase. And shortly after that, 4 years or so after that, 4 or 5 years, you have the other half. It's another 198. Well, that's a lot to absorb in that short amount of time, in my opinion.
What's the full, so 7 years for this
So
one?
by 2033,
Yeah.
this yellow area is going to be completed.
Okay.
It's 128 dwellings,
Yeah.
not people.
That's one Wolfsburger unit, essentially. Like the one Wolfsburger is about 117 houses, 76 acres, and about 400 people, 308.
And then by 2037, you have another 198 units coming in. And then shortly after that, you have the remaining 241. So it's a very aggressive plan, in my opinion. When you have 400 plus units like this, you can typically stagger that over a period of 20 years. This is happening in a matter of, less than 9 years, something like that. By 2041. Or whatever, my math might be a little bit off there, but it's a short amount of time for all of those units for the community to absorb all of that. And I'm talking on the, not talking about the village, talking about the Mendon residents. Because these people will be sharing our shared spaces, the community spaces, the parks, all those things. And typically, when you have a unit this, you know, a development this size, there's a trade-off. I mean, could we see some sort of park or some kind of a green corridor that might, you know, that these people might be able to utilize so that we aren't so stressed with our community spaces and Mendon, you know? All these people are going to be sharing our spaces. And so I think a better, I would have been happier to see a longer phase of this, not necessarily saying, oh, we can't have all these people. But I think it needs time to absorb into the community, and only having 3 phases, very aggressive, in my opinion. So that was the first thing that struck me.
It's going to change the dynamic of the area in a lot.
I just think we need time. Yeah, and you know, I'm not sure about the figures for the schools, but I know my children are in school and they have, you know, about 25 people in the classroom. This is certainly over 1,000 more residents in this, if you look at this, that's quite a stress on an existing system, especially if you don't phase it over a longer period of time. I do like that it's got a kind of an existing buffer with the 2 commercial, you know, South Pole and the other building. I think that's a great natural buffer to the rest of Mendon. Cheese Factory side has, you know, looks like they're leaving some of this green space, which is good.
Does that encroach on what was the JCC?
No. I don't think so.
It doesn't go that far north?
Yeah, that's covered.
This is right at the corner of where, we're.
Kind of in back of South Cove?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Marcus Park?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's in a mile of, yeah, it's,
It looks like they might be proposing it. It's hard to see this because I printed it small, but it says maybe trail. Looks like they might have a little bit of green space in there, which is good, but I think, you know, normally with something this size, you have a little bit more of a trade-off. Also, I didn't see, I don't know if anyone else saw, was there topography shown? Because that's very important to see what the drainage patterns are gonna be like, what's this is in. And they're gonna be stripping all this site initially. I know it's clay, so it's not gonna have a lot of runoff to other areas because it's pretty cohesive. But they're gonna be stripping it, so this is going to be down to nothing for, you know, 4 years. You're gonna have surrounding properties. Of course, I'm sure they'll be, you know, having silk fence and follow all the, I'm hoping, all the procedures, but will all be stripped. And so this is going to affect, we've got a water course protection overlay district, which is right here. And they've got, you know, being built up right up to that. So that's something we're gonna have to be careful. Those are waters we don't want to pollute with any type of sediments. I don't know, I guess what struck me the most is that it's very aggressive. In my opinion, for such a small community. And that there'll be stresses on our common spaces because of it.
Yeah, and then the town board will want to discuss this, and then when you submit your comments or a representative to go to the public hearing, if you want. You know, you might want to think about public infrastructure, impact to roads and traffic. Whether utilities such as water and sewer, how they're gonna accommodate this. And then electricity has been something that's been up in the air lately, I think, for some communities at least. So that's another thing that is gonna be in the public's interest, including the residents of the town of Mendon.
I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Do you know when the date of approval was? I was told it's already been approved.
By which entity?
Honey Falls. I say that because I was told it was 50 years ago, this was all in process and it's approved. Well, then would have expired 49 years ago. So I would say somebody ought to look at that and follow the procedure a little bit. Well, Honey Falls sanitary sewer should be inspected from one end to the other, camera, check the manholes, check the disposal plant in itself. At that same time frame of 50 years ago, that system was going to be updated by going to Pittsburgh. They were talking at that time to running a line to Pittsburgh, and I found that was not feasible. So my mind put the two together that they knew back then that the sanitary sewer wouldn't handle it. the cost of that project, you got the sanitary sewer, water, storm, and the roadways. Each of those in phases should have a letter of credit, plus a percentage for inflation, plus a percentage for inspections, paid for and furnished by the developer. My understanding was that Honey Island Falls footed the bill for the sanitary sewer at Wells Fargo Park, which is obscene.
Yeah.
So that we need, will letter credit the village. I think the Honey Island Falls line of schools need to be upgraded somewhere. Sheriff's Department, I don't know how they have the cost for the Sheriff's Department for Mendon. With the influx of so many people, are they gonna upgrade the cost to the town for that amount? Supported by the taxpayers, just. Also. Daily inspections on all work by an engineering firm, paid for by the developer.
And these are all, they're rental, so there's no, benefit to the tax base particularly.
Some are single family homes and then some.
That's what. And the landlord has to pay property taxes. Yeah.
When each of these stages are completed, they're inspected. Once they're inspected, they should have a maintenance bond to the, but protected them for 2 years. So if the town doesn't have that, village doesn't have that.
Hey, these are all, may I speak? They're asking.
Go ahead.
These are all real valid concerns. I hear them with you. The only thing is, it's the village making these decisions, right?
I've done this for over 50 years. Okay, all this infrastructure. The contractors are very clever on how not to do something.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because everything to not do something is no more than a pocket. So you have to have everything written down and signed off and protected by investments by that developer in dollars. Dollars have to be in an account that the town would draw off of, the village would draw off of that money and pay the contractor. Sometimes they pay the contractor and the developer in a joint payment, where they each sign.
You could get a good fee.
I just turned the hearing aids down. Before that.
You know, so I'm happy to bring these concerns up, so I will type up. What we heard, we'll talk about it on Monday. I just want to say what everybody already knows, we don't have jurisdiction over the village of Honey Island Falls. We can make recommendations, make statements, talk with Rick. I think we have a very important relationship with the village, but it is not for approval from them on board, as you all know.
Well, I believe the state science that as you develop it, bordering another community has to involve the adjoining community.
Notification, I believe, is the terminology that the state uses.
What did you find that? I'd like to read that. Where does the state discuss these bordering issues? Because it's a little bit vague to me. I know, of course, that we don't have jurisdiction or anything like that. But it seems that if we're sharing services and amenities, we should have some say.
I don't disagree in principle.
But I'd like to find it, and I would love to.
So I did look into it earlier this year. I don't know it off the top of my head, but let me take a note and I will send it to you.
I would love that.
Yeah, I will say, so that there's a notice requirement under, it's General Municipal Law 239, I think it's N, as in Nancy. And so that's why we got a letter, inviting the town to submit commentary into the public hearing. And then there's, the town, is probably, I don't know if it's interested or involved. I don't know exactly what kind of,
Interest.
it may be interested unless there's some kind of utilitarian, utilities. You know, some towns have agreements and things about services. So probably, yeah, my guess would be interested, but I don't know enough to say. I don't know enough of the details about the higher level things to say definitively. But if it is interested, that's another avenue through which the town could comment. But the town attorney should be able to advise the town board on what its options are in terms of comments or any substantive decision-making it may have relative to shared services or any agreements that are in place, if there are any.
Will the town board be meeting to discuss this?
It's on the agenda for Monday. Right. Is it on the agenda for Monday? Okay.
When is the village board meeting to accept?
I do not know. I don't know off the top of my head.
thought they had one meeting.
So was it, it wasn't approved yet, right? Were we saying that this has? Yeah, I don't, otherwise this is backwards. We should have done this before.
There's a lot more things with contractors for insurance and
Yeah.
on that project. You don't want a building like Cantilever had. As a framework, you don't want this project a third of the way or quarter of the way done. And
Then it's.
and the residency has to be only after the infrastructure is done and approved, water, sanitary sewer, so on. The roadway all paved for emergency vehicles before anything happens construction wise. You can start a basement, but that's about it. Emergency vehicles have to get on that project before you market anything on that project. Everything has to be complete, because otherwise you're selling them something that's not said. Sense.
I didn't even talk about emergency vehicles or anything like that, because that's something I think more for the town board. I was just trying to talk about building, land use, things, but there's a lot more that we can say that just as an opinion, but as a planning board, I think it is valid to talk about some of the strain that we'll put on our.
Does the planning board want to send a formal document to the town board as an advisory opinion?
I think it would be, but I'm not the chair. So,
I think that it depends on the timing for all of them, also for open meetings law, to get something together for that, because I thought about that for other things.
Yeah.
That's fairly difficult for us to do. I think that from an advisory perspective, though, the expertise in this for them, like, if people wanted to send their individual opinions to the town board and send it as a member of the planning board, that'd be fine with me. But I don't know that we can pull something together with open meetings law in the time before they look at this. I just did a quick scan of Honey Falls website. The last time they talked about this that I found was ZBA in 2025 for Copperfield. So I've seen nothing that's coming up. I also don't see any future agendas that mention it, but it was a concept plan in 2025. Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be at the town hall tomorrow for vouchers. I'll spend about an hour for it.
there you go. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, certainly the minutes of this meeting should be given to the town board, and I think that will. There's a lot that was said here that I think can be gleaned from the town board. Short of rewriting it in a letter and then having them bless it.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, of course, again, you had mentioned individual opinions, everyone has opinions. But as a board, right now, the board is giving its opinion, right? Yeah.
Do you have any feel for how the town, how the village of Hunter Falls feels about it, or the people?
I will certainly not speak on behalf of the residents of Honey Falls.
They're not a bashful crowd.
They're not a bashful crowd. That's exactly right.
I really think they should have an engineered study of the existing sanitary disposal unit here before they go forward with this project.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I do remember they had a grant for,
Upgrade.
their sanitary sewer upgrade. I don't know if that included a population growth or if that was just a repair of what was
That
there.
would be, I would think, repair work and updating, but that disposal plant needs an area.
Yeah.
To increase the size, the holding tanks, and all that has to be bigger, and without land, you can't make bigger, can't make the wall.
Another thing that might be good to know is, the caliber of the buildings that are going in. Because that would affect property values for Mendon residents, because it's certainly within, less than a mile, yeah. Radius for comps and all that stuff. Too bad Danielle's not here. She'd talk better about that, but I think that's important too.
Anybody have anything else on this for the minutes?
I just want to say thank you for adding it to the agenda. Really, really appreciate your feedback, really appreciate your knowledge and opinions. Really helps us to talk about it, and be able to go back to the village with intelligent and comprehensive info.
I appreciate that we had the opportunity.
Most towns have all that I've said in guidelines for the
Yes.
procedures.
Thanks for joining us. Hearing what they have to say.
Are you going to start working on the protest signs?
Against it, I just, I think it's gotta
It's gonna rain on
be.
Thursday. They're gonna think it's
Generally a fit.
Yeah.
You can just copy it. I think.
So we're gonna move on to our next agenda item, unless there's anything else, John. Thank you, thank you. This is public comment time. If anybody has anything they'd like to speak about, under the jurisdiction of the board, please make yourself known and add at it. Hearing none, we will move to the next item. Okay, all right, unless anybody has anything else. Yes, sir.
Does anything move forward on signing in for speaking at the meetings? In other words, signing an application. An opportunity to speak that you are only going to address the application and not the applicant.
We're working on it.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to adjourn? Do we have a second? All in favor? Thanks, everybody.